Hello everybody, and thank you once again for watching another one of my episodes on Cooper's Amputee Lifestyle. If you haven't already known, Sam the Adventure Man, Jared with Adventures with Purpose, and myself went down to the Chehalis River area to help search for Zack. So what I'm going to show in this video is just some area that I was searching underwater to kind of give you guys a perspective on what it kind of looked like under that water. It was very cloudy. It was 3.5 foot visibility. The currents were really ripping through there. It was 3.5 knot currents. And even though the river went down 4 feet in the last couple weeks, there's still some areas where I was definitely about 10 foot plus. There's a lot of natural strainers or logs and rocks and debris that are kind of spread apart and piled up in a couple of areas. There's a lot of eddies, and it's not a very fun river. It was actually a pretty challenging river. You know, not only that, there was a lot of hard areas where you just couldn't put a diver because it's very steep and the slopes drop about 10-15 plus feet down straight into the water. There's not really any sandy banks right now. So one of the things I also want to do is help spread awareness with this video. And so before I get into talking about cold water shock, the family has a Facebook page that you can go and you can kind of go through the Facebook page and look at the posts and stuff like that. And it's called Searching for Zack, and it's on Facebook. And there's a picture of Zack there in the profile spot where he's wearing his ball cap, and the banner is right there in the water with a couple people in a raft doing searching. So if you guys could go there and look and kind of give some support or anything, the father's on there. He'll check any messages. I'm also going to try to post a link to his PayPal if anybody wants to help donate towards the searching of the funds. And I'm also going to post a link to Sam's channel, Sam the Adventure Man, so you guys can watch the update that we just live streamed. So before I get into my video of what it looked like underwater while I was searching, let me read something to you guys. So this is just a little bit of research that I did online with cold water, with the cold shock response. So the cold shock response is a series of cardiovascular responses caused by a sudden immersion of cold water. Now that temperature in that river was about 40 something plus degrees, in the low 40s. It was still pretty cold. That's why a lot of us divers, we have to have exposure suits, wetsuits, semi-dry suits, dry suits, to kind of help keep us warm and you know, our cores of our body warm so we can still function. In cold water immersion, cold shock response is perhaps the most common cause of death, such as by falling through the thin ice. The immediate shock of cold causes involuntary inhalation, which if underwater can result in a drowning. Basically, your lungs could be partially filled to fully filled with the water that you're in. The cold water can cause heart attack due to the vasoconstriction. The heart has to work harder to pump the same volume of blood through the body. For people with existing cardiovascular disease, the additional workload can result in a cardiac arrest. Inhalation of water and thus drowning may result from hyperventilation, breathing pretty rapid. Some people are much better able to survive swimming in very cold water due to body or mental conditioning. Cold water shock causes you to gasp uncontrollably and panic, which often leads to drowning. The shock of entering the water triggers the automatic fight or flight response, resulting in panic and confusion, putting additional strain on your heart, further lowering skin temperature by shutting down the peripheral circulation. Thrashing around trying to swim will also encounter air to escape from clothing, thereby reducing buoyancy and making it harder to float. And to remain as calm as possible, turn onto their back and float instead. Floating offers an opportunity to catch your breath, allow the effects of the cold water shock to pass. This should take no more than 90 seconds. Do not worry about wearing clothes and shoes, as these will remain buoyant and help you float in the initial minute it takes for you to regain your control of your breathing. I would also like to add that if you're playing in the water, I mean, it could be hot out here in Washington, and once you still go into those rivers, that some of them are glacier fed, they're still cold. You know, you could still find yourself in a position where you're basically fight or flight. A great way to avoid that while you're still recreating is wear a PFD, personal flotation device, a life jacket. When I used to go float the Green River on an inner tube, I always wore a life jacket. I mean, I didn't wear the big orange ones, the horseshoe. I wore like one that you would probably see somebody wearing as they were like water skiing or something, you know, a little bit more, less noticeable. Black and green is what I wore. But I just thought it would, you know, if more people wore PFDs near the water, that it would help reduce the risk of drownings. So I always try to push that a little bit.
There's a whirlpool right here. It's a whirlpool right here. I got a beater. Oh, cool. Yeah, the lock one. Yeah. So, there's quite a few logs right here that used to be right here. And they're all right here. I'm checking underneath them and stuff. They're all clear. Visibility is about 3 to 5 feet. Sandy, muddy, rocky. I'm going to kind of work my way towards the concrete, just double check the concrete a little bit. My air is at 3,200. Hold on a second. What's that?
How are you on air?
I got 1,800 left.
Okay, so listen.
Yeah.
Coming around here, he knocked that little grappler, it fell off the bank.
Oh, that's a cool. I get it.
So,
How far did my bubbles go out?
so you see where that little bit of eddy is out there, where it gets a little bit more turbulent?
Yeah.
That's about where your bubbles were.
Okay.
About mid-river.
I went until I couldn't find any more concrete,
Okay.
and it was really rough out there. So I was like, okay, well, I checked the concrete in the rocks right here, and I couldn't really find anything.